Hi, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. Today we're doing something that I promised I'd do for you guys a long time ago, and I just never got to doing it, and I figured I'd do it. As you may or may not know, depending on whether you watch my channel or not, the Ghostbusters is probably my all-time favorite movie, if I had to just pick one. And I told you about there is this awesome comic series, and I never shared it. So, today I'm going to go ahead and share the issues I've collected thus far. I'm only missing one issue. There's actually a really excellent series that I don't have on me. It's unfortunately in storage, and my life's kind of in disarray with where all my stuff is and everything. It's just a mess, but I'll show you those books if I ever get a chance. There's only 4 of them that came out, but they were fantastic. This series is just as good, actually. So we'll start with the first one. So this is the first issue of IDW's Ghostbusters. It's hard to film, actually, because this camera has terrible range. But they came out with a bunch of variant issues, and one of the reasons was that each issue is actually modeled after an album cover. I believe this is modeled after a Kiss cover. They also had ones that were modeled after a Queen album, the Beatles. But here you see the artwork. It's kind of a mixture of the real Ghostbusters and the Ghostbusters game on the Nintendo Wii. But it's really cool. And then here's issue 2. And it's just various adventures, and they kind of take stuff from both the movies and the cartoon. Mostly the cartoon. Well, a little bit of both. But the art's pretty consistent. And at the end of each issue, Walter Peck, if you remember from the EPA of the first movie, he actually has a file on each case that's actually covered in each book. And then they have sketches, and I don't know why people like to share their kids' photos, but this is issue 4. Actually, that's 3. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. This is issue 4. This is 5. This is 6. I'd tell you the story, but you ruin it. I'd ruin it. So, there's usually 2 variant covers. Sometimes I like the alternative, like this is an alternative cover. The ones I showed you thus far are the normal covers. This was not a variant cover, but I like it way more than the alternative cover, because it looks like an old pulp novel with Egon. If you look, see, they usually have about 2 or 3 different covers you can pick from. Sorry about the light on the camera. So we have this one, this one, this one. I'd open them up, but it'd spoil the story for you, first of all, even though you probably only get 2 or 3 pages. But I mean, the artwork's pretty consistent so far. And there's this one, basically the Ghostbusters, which was a great idea. They actually go on a trip across the U.S. and actually stop in different states. So by the time you get to this issue, where they go to Chicago, they actually meet up with, where is it? I should be a little bit more prepared. Look, there's reference to the way Egon looked in the Extreme Ghostbusters. It's and Janine looks more and more like she does on the real Ghostbusters. And we'll get more in the real Ghostbusters in a second. But that's like her new boyfriend that she's dating instead of Egon, because Egon can't pick up on any hints. I sound really cheesy talking about this. But if you look here, that's the rookie from the actual Ghostbusters video game. And if you want to be super nerdy, I actually have a figure of the rookie right here. I got them at Big Lots, and there's little mini mates, which I really like. I think they're cool. And then I have the Ecto 1. I made it purposely grungy. I just like things looking dirty and grungy. And those are mini mates of the real Ghostbusters. And then you have Vigo. I'm sort of nerdy. I like to build models. And then you have Peter and Winston. Big Lots actually had a huge sale on those things. But yeah, that's a rookie. And that's a Batmobile right there that I did. I made that grungy too. I don't like my things to be... when I build models, I like them to look dirty, kind of like Star Wars. But anyway, back to the books. So anyway, they have the rookie here. And in this issue, the Ghostbusters actually have competition. As far as I know, they never explained how they got the technology, but it's still a pretty cool cover. It's like a old spaghetti western. And it kind of has a title too, for a few protons more. And here's the Ecto 2, which is from the animated series. It always crashes on the animated series too. I actually had the toy. I don't have it anymore. I wish I had a lot of my toys. I actually let my friend's kid play with my old Ghostbuster toys, and he basically destroyed them. Never let a young kid play with anything you treasure, because they'll break it. I'm sorry. I don't care how careful they say their kids are. So there's one more issue that I'm missing, which sucks. And then you go to this. I had to get this because my comic book store, I think they got confused. They switched the title to the new Ghostbusters instead of the Ghostbusters right here. And basically, the Ghostbusters get lost in limbo. And then other people end up taking the place. Actually, he's one of the guys right there, the people that were like the false Ghostbusters, but they eventually end up getting the Ghostbusters back. But the shows the covers from these, so I'll show you those. This is the first cover of the new Ghostbusters, where you didn't know who was going to be replace the Ghostbusters. But here's the new Ghostbusters profile. I'm gonna take a seat because I'm old. So these people were all from various issues. That's Kylie. She's actually from Extreme Ghostbusters. I guess everybody liked her enough to put her in the comic book. She works at Ray's Occult, the bookshop from Ghostbusters 2. And there's Janine. Janine has done a proton pack before in the cartoon series. And I have actually the last issue, as you can see here. And in the middle of all these new Ghostbuster issues, maybe not particularly this one, they'd have like Adventures of the Real Ghostbusters, if I can find it. I hope they put it in this graphic novel. I just got this one today. That's why I decided to share. I guess they didn't put it in. If I was going to complete this, I'd probably get the regular issues, but I'm not. But in between some of these issues, while this video is not going as good as I planned, they have little side stories. Like, for instance, we have Peter, it looks like Peter from the real Ghostbusters, on an adventure, which Who Killed Laura Parr, which is a Twin Peaks reference. Which kind of makes sense because he's out in the open. If you watch Twin Peaks, you'd get that reference. So we have the new Ghostbusters. It says an all-new backup story featuring the real Ghostbusters. And this one, I can show you an example. It might be in the other book, but I just didn't see it. So here's Sam Hain, which is kind of a creepy character. He's in the cartoon of the real Ghostbusters, which I'll get to. And then we have these books. At some point they changed the art style for a short amount of time. I'm trying to find where they did it. I think it was this one. I thought the art style kind of got ugly. Yeah, I don't like this art style. I kind of like the stylized look a lot more. But then at the back of the issue, there's like a small little comic of the Rookie and one of the other replacement Ghostbusters at the time. I guess that takes place in Chicago. I don't think that story's completed yet. I don't know. I haven't read the last issue. I have the last issue. I just haven't had a chance to read it. That's the Rookie and the other guy. So we got this issue. This issue. This one's blank because there is actually 3 variant covers. One looks sketch. I got the blank piece of paper, which is one of the alternative covers. You think that'd be the sucky cover to have? And then they have this cover, which is the regular cover, and you can't see it all that well because of the light. And this came out during Christmas time, so it's kind of holiday-ish. And this is the last issue to come out thus far. I apologize about the light. My room's so dark, if I didn't have it on, you wouldn't be able to see shit. So then, before this amazing comic came out, there was this, and I didn't like this Ghostbusters very much. I didn't like the artwork, and the story was super weird and dark, kind of. The Ghostbusters get shot up by mobsters and actually go to the underworld. But this is a collection of stories. There are some other stories in here that actually have the same style as the comics I just showed you, which I do like. I do like the covers though. They don't really have the ability to use the likeness of like Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray, so they gotta do their best to copy what they look like. So the artwork's kind of it's stylized for a reason. It's not like it's bad artwork or anything, but here's like a Thanksgiving issue. I don't think that's in any book. And then we have 2 special things. We have the X-Files Conspiracy Ghostbusters with the lone gunman, I believe. I haven't seen that show. It was a short-lived show, but they were on the X-Files a lot. They go and investigate the Ghostbusters hideout, and they're still not convinced, even though they like set the trap off and everything, and they see Slimer and all this crap. And then we have Mars Attacks and the real Ghostbusters, which I'm sure you probably have heard of the movie Mars Attacks, and I believe there were like trading cards in the 60s or 50s or whatever, and they might have been comics. Like, the design isn't original from like Tim Burton, But yeah, we had the real Ghostbusters, even though they don't really look like the real Ghostbusters that too much, like Mars Attacks. If you're curious what the real Ghostbusters are, if you weren't a kid born in the mid-80s, I said 80s, kind of weird. I'm sorry, like, if I'm kind of out of it, like, I think I'm getting a cold, it sucks. But, I showed you guys this before, I'll show it to you again for people that are new to the channel. This is my real Ghostbusters, complete series collection. It's probably my most prized favorite DVD set ever. If you look at the front, it looks like the firehouse. So, in 1986, they came out with the real Ghostbusters. The reason why it was called the real Ghostbusters was there was already a cartoon out called the Ghostbusters based on a black and white TV show called Ghostbusters. Now it's referred to as Filmation Ghostbusters. But they never changed this just the regular Ghostbusters. This has always been the real Ghostbusters. So the DVD set's shaped like the firehouse. And it's really cool. And I don't know. Yeah, you can tell. It has like little anaglyph or whatever the heck you would call it. Little animations on it. And then you have the tin cases. And then you have this nice little booklet that tells you about every episode. The first 3 seasons are good. Then, like typical people do, parents called in and said the show was too violent, so they toned it down and made it more kid-friendly. But the first episode, some of them were pretty dark. Especially the second season, which was made for syndication, so it didn't have to specifically come on ABC. So, they got away with a lot more. But they come in these beautiful, nice tins, which I'm scared are gonna peel one day. I'm really anal about that. And if you, look at the backs of them, they show individual stages of the trap sucking in down the ghost symbol. So, if you look, this is pretty much what the art style looks like. Janine's hairdo basically changes almost after I believe the 3rd season, her hairdo changes. This is volume 2. That's pretty much what her hair looked like. She's the only one that really changes. Ray got thinner around season 4, but that's about the only change. And Slimer slowly started to talk more as kids liked him. You can collect these individually, but this set is the only way you're going to get this bonus disc, which contains like a lot of interviews and other good stuff. So that's my prized little Ghostbuster comic collection and my little DVDs. And you've already seen Ghostbusters on DVD, I'm sure, the box, so I don't need to show you that. I never got Ghostbusters on Blu-ray because I never felt like Blu-ray was worth it for old movies. I saw Alien, that one looked a lot better than usual, but every time I buy like a remastered version of an older movie, I usually can't tell much difference from the DVD, so I don't usually rebuy them. I used to, and I just felt like I was wasting my money. Unless it has special bonus features or something that aren't on the DVD, I'm typically not interested. But, that's my comic collection. I don't know how well this video will turn out, but I promised that I'd show you guys it one day. It's not that impressive, but I enjoy it, and I look forward every month getting the one issue, as nerdy as it is. I apologize I didn't get to film the comic book store. There's too many people there, and I didn't want to get in trouble for looking suspicious and filming around, so maybe on a day where, there's not a lot of people there or something, I'll film it. But I don't want to make any promises just in case there's always going to be people there or something goes wrong. But anyway, guys, thanks again for watching, and you guys take care. Bye.